Hello, everyone. My name is Ryan Cam, and welcome back to the 60s Project, where myself and Russell Howell cover every movie that we possibly can from the year 1960. Russell, how are you?
Doing good. Looking forward to talking about these two films, one better than the other, as we take on another '60s project. This one, like I said, it was one of those ones where it wasn't the one that I thought I was gonna like is the one I liked. So this will be fun to talk about.
Yeah, it was a bit of a tough draw this time around, and we'll get into the reasons why when we get there. But if you're watching on YouTube, leave a like and subscribe. If you're listening on Spotify, we'd appreciate a 5 star. We would appreciate that very much. But let's get into it, starting off with from a truly great horror director in Mario Bava, it is Black Sunday. This was, like I said, directed by Mario Bava, legendary Italian horror filmmaker. And it starred Barbara Steele, John Anderson, and Andrea Chiecci. I probably butchered that, and I'm sorry, among others. And it tells the story of a woman named Princess Asia who is executed for witchcraft in a very brutal fashion. And so she is resurrected and begins to take out the victims who are now living in the castle that once belonged to her. So I had heard good things about this one and was looking forward to it. And yeah, of this project so far, this is one of the bigger disappointments for me.
Yeah, I mean, it got good marks on Letterboxd. It seemed like a lot of people really appreciated it. It was okay. I just, there was scenes where I felt like it dragged a lot. It was hard to like get on board because like I would watch a little bit, that I'd do something, then I'd watch a little bit more, then I would do something. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't stay invested in it. I did like the one scene. There's a scene where I believe somebody's watching the carriage. I don't know if it's a woman or a man, and I think it's a man. Or no, yeah. And there's the scene where it's like a slow motion of the carriage coming by, which I thought was actually kind of cool, especially for 1960s slow motion. I thought it was kind of neat. Um, but yeah, I don't know. This is one that was hard to get on board with. The you know First off, you had characters that were obviously the same actor and actress playing different roles. Obviously, that's why they looked the same. You could have done something else with that. I mean, it's just kind of, I feel like it was kind of cheesy to do it like that. Oh, well, it just so happens that she's trying to, go into just so happens to look like herself. I'm like, it's just, I don't know. Figure we could have done that in a more creative way. But just, yeah, it kind of fell flat for me.
My favorite part of the movie was actually the opening, where you see the titular execution of the princess take place, and
Yeah.
how it turns out it's her brother doing this, and he's like, "I commend thy soul to the gates of hell," and like I thought that was pretty good, and then just like how she dies is pretty brutal. It's not even like anything like gracious. It's like it's this mask with spikes in it, and it's like put on her face, and that's what kills her. It's like the man with the iron mask, the DiCaprio movie, but there's no spikes in that mask. And like this time it's like that's what kills her. And like that whole pomp and circumstance I thought was great. The rest of the movie, it was tough. Like the movie's not even 90 minutes long. It's an hour and 20 and change, or 27, excuse me. And you feel every minute of that after the intro, of course.
Yeah, I mean these are films that should blow by rather briskly, and this was far from brisk. Um, yeah, the mask was kind of a cool contraption, obviously with the spikes. It looked like something Jigsaw would probably create. But yeah, I thought that was actually kind of cool.
Hmm.
But outside of that, though, it's just a very forgettable horror film, unfortunately, because like I said, Letterbox, like a lot of the people watch it really like gave it high marks, like 3.5 stars. Like this one, just to me was a forgettable, just a forgettable film. And obviously an Italian. I thought they did a great job with the subtitles, and even at times where I felt like it was synced up. like it was like almost like they were like it wasn't subtitled. It was really weird. And for the listeners, it is available on Amazon Prime. It's free. So yeah.
Yeah, and Italy is subtly a really entering as the deeper into the 60s you go. It subtly becomes a really great decade for Italian horror. I mean, throughout the 60s, Mario Bava invents what is known as giallo, which is its entire subgenre of horror, if you will. There's some classics in there. And then, and they would continue to do great things into the 70s. So we're not trying to be too harsh here. We're not saying we just don't understand the medium. We're trying our best to. And Bava is very good at what he does, but it just, I don't know. I wasn't crazy about this one. And
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a forgettable rate. Outside of the great introduction, it just falls flat on its face after that.
Yeah, that introduction, obviously it's set up for almost like a perfect Halloween movie, like time watch. And then, it was very, flat after that. The 80-minute runtime felt very, daunting. It was very just like, oh my God, this movie just like, can it just end already? A little bit cheesy. Yeah, obviously some of these films from the 60s obviously have that little bit of a cheese factor to them too. Cause obviously, we're just so spoiled with technology and just everything in general. The style of acting, everything's different now. This movie is definitely a forgettable film. It just it misses the mark on it for me.
The intro kind of reminded me of the Evil Dead remake from Fede Alvarez, where the girl gets burned at the stake. I don't know. Okay. It's not the same. It's not the same as what happens there, but it kind of reminded me of that a little bit. But however, the Evil Dead remake was actually pretty intense, but another story for another time. Let's get to the other half of this time around, and let's take a look at not the movie from 2017 with Steve Carell and Emma Stone called Battle of the Sexes. This is a completely different movie called Battle of the Sexes. This is just the Battle of the Sexes. This was directed by Charles Crichton, and it starred Peter Sellers, Robert Morley, Constance Cummings, and Ernest Thesiger, and Donald Pleasence. This is our second film with Donald Pleasence this year. And it is based on the short story of the same name, and it tells the story of a woman named Angela Barrows, who is a successful analyst from the U.S. who is sent over to the UK to try and straighten out a company that is run primarily by men. And the main character of the men is a employee who is played by Peter Sellers. Now, Peter Sellers is someone who would go on to great fame in the 60s. He would star in a little movie called The Pink Panther, not the Steve Martin one. The Steve Martin one was a remake of that. But he would basically become a huge star in the 60s. And this was his start here. And I don't think I laughed once in this, Russell. I'm sad to say. It's not horrible, but I just did not care for this. I struggle to remember anything about it as I'm talking about it.
Let's see. I gravitated towards this one a little bit more. I really like the end scene when Sellers goes to the woman's apartment. I think that scene's absolutely hilarious. Like where he's trying to kill her, and all this stuff just keeps happening. Where he's picking the knife up, and then she just turns around. She goes, "Oh, the knife goes in here," and it's just. I thought that was really funny. But like I said, it's not for everybody. A disclaimer, I guess. But I actually liked this one pretty well. I didn't think it was as bad, and I thought and again, another hour and 20 minutes. I thought this actually kind of flew by quickly. It's funny because yes, this lady comes in and is pretty much like trying to up their productivity and up their efficiency, I guess. And it's like they do things, and it just shows like how a male run company, just how bad it's run. Like the threads are like all made by like people in that are like all over the area, and it's just like it's crazy. And she's trying to obviously boost the efficiency up on it. So you can kind of see where she's coming from with it, but then you also see where Sellers' character is coming in and saying, she's basically trying to like change the whole entire landscape of the company, trying to change it. They're not going to do different like tweed threads or whatever. They're going to do something completely different, and that jeopardizes their career and their way of doing things, because they've done it enough to where they're comfortable enough to run the company as is. I don't know. I kind of liked it. It was one of the ones where I did laugh near the end. There were some funny scenes here and there. I thought Sellers did a really great job. And the guy that plays McPherson, I thought the actor there, I thought he was pretty funny too. So, I mean, and she's like cutthroat, man. She's like really like all about trying to boost efficiency up. And she just like, and you can tell these guys don't really buy into it, because they this is all they've known how to do with it. And so I don't know. I like this movie enough. I thought it was a lot better than Black Sunday.
See, my main problem is that a lot of the comedy really revolves around Miss Barrows going, well, maybe we should do this and put this over here, and the guy is just reacting like, oh, like,
Yeah.
what is this? And it got real old real fast. There's no diversity to the jokes here. And to your point, Peter Sellers is the best part of the movie. I think he was not quite Clouseau yet, but he was definitely getting there. And I think, like, to your point, the scene with the knife, I just remember that was actually pretty good. There's another knife scene where he's trying to get these trays out of a fridge.
Yeah, same scene. Yep.
Well, see what I'm talking about? I'm struggling to remember it even as I'm talking about it. But that part was great, where he's like, and then like turns and does.
The knife goes here. And the other part I liked too was when he was like switching around all the different things, like the communication among the office, like he was switching that all around, because he basically, Sellers wanted to pretty much like put the kibosh down on it and pretty much show McPherson that, hey, like this lady's full of this doesn't make things more efficient or easier, you know what I mean? And I just thought it was really funny how he kind of tried to sabotage all that. He goes through all these great lengths of like breaking into the office and like wiring things around, and then throwing, mixing files up and stuff like that. And to her point, their way of filing things is absolutely crazy. The beginning scene, there's a beginning scene where he asks a coworker to kind of like tell him about, ask me where to find like specific receipts or specific things in the paperwork. And there's folders literally everywhere, all throughout this office, and it looks like a complete mess. And he says things, and Sellers' character knows exactly where it's at, but she's trying to make things more efficient, make things easier. And I just thought it was funny how like he goes into the office and really tries to like sabotage everything, just to pretty much show McPherson that like, dude, this lady's not like trying to make things better. You know what I mean? Her thing, her presence here is really a detriment to the way that they've been doing business. And I just, like I said, I really did like it, and I thought it was a lot. It was something different, and I was entertained enough on this one.
I remember watching, because I'm writing a series of Akira Kurosawa film reviews for FromTheFourthRow.com, and one of the first ones I watched was Stray Dog. And that office just made me so upset, because you see all the files and like paperwork everywhere. I'm like, filing cabinets. Like, I know like computers weren't a thing back then. Like, get some organization involved in this. Same thing with this movie. It just drives me mad, like seeing all those folders just sitting there. And I know it's 1960 in the case of the Battle of the Sexes. Computers were not a thing yet, or if they were a thing, they were only used by like NASA. So, like, the computers that we're using to record this were not a thing. I'm well aware of that. But still, like, get some boxes. Like, take it off of the window. Like, get it away from the window. You are asking for either a fire or for one subtle gust of wind to just go, like, all your records go down on the floor. Yeah. So, it's just a personal thing for me.
Yeah, no, and there is a scene where remember she opens a window and all the files, like all the papers go swirling around and stuff like that too. It just shows you what a complete clutter the whole entire office is, that whole entire way of doing things. But at the end of the day, like I said, I think this hour and 20-minute film goes by rather quickly. And it's available on YouTube for free on that. I guess they put a bunch of free movies on there like that are hard to have access to because, like we said, obviously with the beginning of this, it's just hard to get access to all these films from the older generation, the older decades.
Yeah, you would be surprised at what movies are on YouTube if you really dig deep enough. Like, it saved my neck more than once, but that's another story for another time. For me, this movie's pretty forgettable. I am glad, Russell, that you liked it. It was not a friend of mine. But I pass it off to all of you. What did you think of these two movies? If you have seen it, let us know in the comments. We would love to read what you have to say. And it's a privilege to do this every week with Russell every Friday. Tell the people where they can find you.
Yeah, you guys can find us at Notorious by Chance. We just reviewed Anora finally. Got that episode out. Our next episode, we will be talking about Napoleon Dynamite. Kind of looking forward to that one because it's been forever since I've watched that movie. So it was neck and neck. It was Napoleon Dynamite and Dirty Dancing that were really close. And then Napoleon I think kind of like just surged ahead. So we're going to review Napoleon Dynamite. So check out that. That should be coming up sometime within the next probably a week or so. And you guys can find us on YouTube at NBC Podcast on X. And
yeah, well, all of their links will be in the description. Go give them a subscribe there. As far as this channel goes, we will be returning next Friday to the year 2000. We'll be taking a look at another wild double feature. This time we'll be taking a look at The Skulls, the Rob Cohen movie starring Paul Walker a year before he would star in Fast and Furious, and Ready to Rumble, where it sort of kind of led to David Arquette winning the WCW title, but we will get to that when we get to that. But for Russell, my name is Ryan Cam. We will see you next week. Y'all take care.